play a role in development. And let's start by deconstructing the relationship between innovation and regional development as it is established within the regional innovation systems literature. And we do that first of all by looking back at the meanings of innovation through the well, not certainly only through the decades, but through the centuries in which the concept was used. So let's contribute to deconstruct this closure. I mean, it's a closure in the sense that it is a closed regional innovation model that believes that it is the crux of regional development in a way. So how do we do this deconstruction? We look at evolving and diverse meanings of innovation as a concept and a practice from the 17th century till now. That's mainly referring to yesterday, where innovation originally meant strategies of religious, political, social behavior, was later on called social innovation. Then the discourse of social innovation was pushed to the background for about a century. Technological and economic innovation came to the front as of the 1930s, and so on. We look at all these types of innovation, we see two things. We see that they are very diverse, and their consumption, therefore, is very diverse. And they take place, they materialize within socio-economic contexts and spatial contexts that are very diverse as well. I'm using the word context again, but it's my eternal frustration. I hate the word, but I cannot avoid it. So, looking at evolving and diverse meanings of innovation as a concept and a practice from the 17th century till now, and investigating what it means for the place of diverse types of innovation and other human agencies in socio-economic development. And then looking at the consequences for scientific research and also for policy making, trying to suggest some policy leads. So basically, what I want to do here is show that there is a wide diversity of agencies that play an important role in spatial development, in human development. A much wider diversity than what we learn from the regional innovation systems literature. So that's the first lesson on the institutional and the social dynamics. Coming with this, I will say a few words later. So the history of innovation, thought and practice, one slide to kind of summarize what I said yesterday. So referring to Godin, but also to my own work with Jessop, for example, with Mahmoud, I argued that innovation theory, when it started flourishing among academics, say around 1950s, and later on among policymakers, it had lost touch with the history of thought and practice of innovation. It was one interpretation of innovation, and you could also say it was one interpretation of strategic agency that is strategic to the development of a locality, of a region, and so on. So the original meaning of innovation, as we saw, was much more social, political, and cultural, slowly hosting technology in its social culture womb. The first generation of innovators and social innovators, in a way, were looking at the satisfaction, at ways for the satisfaction of human needs in a very technical way, but a technical way that was taking into account the social needs and the social relations. Social innovators were engineers quite often who took into account the social context, who took into account the social needs. I mean, referring to the definition of social innovation I shared with you. Unfortunately, as I write there, unfortunately, the technological baby, which became more and more important, 30s, 40s, 50s, rejected the womb in which it grew. It's a historical analysis, but it's also a sociological analysis in the sense that those engineers recognized the social context and the social baby. So my work on territorial innovation models and spatial development showed the necessity to look back at this history of the meaning, conceptual meaning, but also practical meaning of innovation, social innovation. And the following figure, which you saw yesterday, and some of you, I don't know, Prativi, if you have seen this, it was one of my latest publications for the European Union. So basically, what we say here is we have had, through the history of innovation as a concept, as a practice, we have had all these stages. At the ideological and philosophical level, at the level of social-political transformation, at the level of social change, and in microdynamics. We have had this history, we have had these debates, we have had these strategies and actions, if you like,